people who are up a little bit further, they put their hands back. They're not going to drag you to the top, but they will pull you up a step, and they will support that.
Welcome back to Pen and Prosper, a podcast where JT Lawrence is coaching me, Melissa Delport, to be a six-figure author. Today we have another stunning guest. We are so excited. So I'm going to hand over to JT in a minute to introduce Siobhan. But before I do that, we just, as always, want to thank our paid subscribers for their ongoing support, and our darling Elize for all her editing help. And yes, and we're going to dive straight in. JT.
Thanks, Delport. So today we have Siobhan Purcell, who is one of my very good author friends. We met in Seville. We got on very well. We bonded over countless glasses of wine. Because as you know, in Seville, you drink during the conference, and it's like one of the best things ever. And Siobhan was instrumental in getting me into the mastermind that has been so good. She's definitely one of my favorite authors of all time. Hi, Siobhan. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted
welcome.
to be here. Oh, thank you.
And we're going to talk today about Ireland's publishing show, which was your brainchild, and you started from scratch, and it's done so well. Every author I speak to who's been there has said how wonderful it is, how cozy, and it just seems like the best, like nice and cozy, comfortable author events in the calendar. So congratulations, and tell us about it.
Oh, thank you. So I suppose I won a scholarship to Vegas to 20 books as it was. I went to this conference. Was unpublished. I was stuck in my writing career. I get to 15,000 words. I think it's quite usual from what I heard afterwards. And I would go, what do I do next? And then you get all the different advice, write the last chapter, move to a different chapter. I was really stuck. And I went to Vegas, and I just got this like overwhelming advice and support. And I sat beside people who I didn't know, who were very generous with their times. And then I'd look them up afterwards, and they were killing it in their author careers. And I was like, this is mind-blowing. Like, this was just phenomenal. And in Ireland, it kind of felt that, self-publishing was a bit of a dirty word. Everyone wanted the trad deal, and everyone wanted, so I came home and I was like, oh, we need to do this in Ireland. And I wasn't published. I went back for 2 more years, and I kind of built up, I kind of be the networking queen, I feel. So I would meet people. I would be friends with them for a long time on Facebook, because I would just send friend requests here and there in a polite way. Yeah, in a polite way. I was like, I kind of felt surround yourself with people who you want to be like. I mean, we were friends for a long time before we ever met.
We were, yeah.
And
I sought you out at the conference because we were Facebook friends.
Absolutely, yeah. And I would, when you were doing really well, I'd say, oh my goodness, congratulations. But I think when you're networking, it's really important to appreciate people and be very careful. We've all got that. Hi, a friend request, and here's my book. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. Buy my book, be in my group. So I've done and learned all the kind of etiquettes and as well. When I would meet people, my trick, which I didn't realize it was a trick at the time, because it wasn't. It was just genuine. I would take a selfie, and then afterwards I would just reach out and say, "Hi, really nice to meet you in person." Great. And it kind of just solidified who I was a little bit, in the sense of I was nobody. I also was just, so we were Facebook friends. So that's how it started with the networking. And then I was like, Ireland really needs a show. Ireland, they need to see what's achievable, to meet these incredible people. So last June, this year has been so crazy. Last June, I was at SBS, and I met Tony Lee and Steve Higgs. And I was like, now we were friends at this stage, because I had stalked them a little bit, but as you do.
Fellow stalker here. Hello.
I need to start stalking people, clearly.
It's just, it just, you make sure you say hello every time you meet them. And when they figure out you're actually not a full-on stalker, they're quite welcome to it. So I met them, and I was like, if I do a show in Ireland, would you come and speak? And they both said yes. And off of that, I started to build the Irish show. What was a bit incredible at the time, and I suppose cheeky, was I still wasn't published myself. So I was asking people to come and speak, and they all said yes, and that was just networking. That wasn't because I was anybody special or I had achieved anything in my career. I then published in December, and got a lot of love around my book. And my first book, Irish Cozy Mystery. And then I did a second book, which launched on the 17th of March, and my show was on the 18th of March. So it was literally in the pub in Ireland, surrounded by author friends. Yeah, it was really good fun. So that was kind of just the background around it. I was really lucky. Craig Martell had given me a scholarship all those years ago, and we became friends. So he rubber stamped kind of and gave me a little bit of support and advice in the background.
Fantastic.
So I built this show out of nowhere, really.
Amazing.
Oh, wow. I wanted to ask, how many times did you go to the 50 Books conference before you did the Island Publishing Show?
So I was there 3 years. And
Wow.
then
Okay.
and then I did it this year. So I was at the Autumn Nation then in November as well. But the Irish show was like
Okay.
3 months up and running, I think, at that
So
stage.
last year was the first Island Publishing
Yes.
Show was last
So
year.
this year
Okay.
in March, March this year was the
This year in
first
March.
year.
Okay. And
Yes,
it
I
was.
know.
Yeah, this year's
It's
running
been
away with us.
It's bizarre. The week after we met the hotel and we were like, so we're booking for 2026. And we were like, and last year's conference. And we're like, no, last week. It was just, it's really, really bizarre how your brain works.
Okay. I have found, and JT speaks of this a lot, and obviously I've never been fortunate enough to go to these wonderful conferences. Apparently Craig Martell is my in, because both of you had a Craig Martell moment.
He's so wonderful. He's so
I need to
generous.
So
start
wonderful, yeah.
stalking. I need to start stalking Craig. But one thing that keeps coming out is how generous all these big name authors are.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve Higgs has been bandied around you, all these names, and they seem to just, yeah, sure, I will come and help. Like, I'm blown away by the mindset. And I think that it's so cool that the people at the top have such a generosity mindset. They're not gatekeeping any information or trying to
No.
hog everything for themselves. So it's very cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the feeling in this industry, which is not in most industries, is people who are up a little bit further, they put their hands back. They're not going to drag you to the top, but they will pull you up a step and they will support that. And then as you go, I think you should put your hand back as well, and give that help and give that advice, because that's what's getting us all through it, really.
Yes. JT's not allowed to put her hands back. She has to drag me up. That's her job.
Yeah.
Dragging Delport all the way.
All the way to the top.
I also think that authors, they don't always know how much they know. Someone who's maybe quite new to the industry, only been publishing for, let's say, 3 years, as an example, they know a lot more than someone who's just starting out, and they can also reach back. I know that a lot of people don't think, I don't know if it's imposter syndrome, or they just don't think they know everything, they don't know enough, but I would rather be helped by someone who is a few steps in front of me than a mile in front of me, because it's just so
more
much
relative.
easier. Yeah,
absolutely. I do think that's what happens at the conference. And what happened in Ireland was, when I was doing the show, I was trying to make sure that there was, I suppose, everyone was there would get something from it. So the speakers maybe would be able to help and advise each other a little bit. There was that connection was there. But then you had, say, like me sitting in Vegas, you had somebody who was sitting beside you who maybe was a few steps up, who you could say, how do I do this? Like, I remember being in the first time in a group and somebody was talking about, WIP. And I'm like, what the hell is WIP? Excuse me. But I was like, what is WIP? Like, and now, yeah. And now it's like, it feels like the most stupid question. But if you don't know, you don't know.
Exactly. And there is a lot of jargon. We don't think there is in our industry, but there is a lot.
There is a lot. And I think that if somebody's a little bit shy and won't ask the question, like, Google is a great friend, but sitting beside somebody at a conference, hearing their story, perhaps that people who were in the same position as me, they were stuck, and I got the advice. I was beside people who had made €1 million or dollars or whatever the year before, and advised, but they were where I was. And that's the thing we all forget. Steve, Tony, they all started somewhere. And I was lucky. I really like cozy mysteries. And I was in a group where I saw Steve start. He was just getting going. And I remember he's like, I've just, published my first book and these are my covers. And you watch these people. I was stuck very much with imposter syndrome. It was like, what if I do it and I fail? But you learn from that, So yeah, it was amazing.
What was the piece of advice, or was it a collective pieces of advice that did get you through that block? Because you said you were stuck at 15,000 words.
It's keep writing. Like, that's
okay, just keep going.
It's walking away from it was my biggest problem, because I would get to 15,000, I would stare at it and think, I don't know where to go, and then I would start something else, because that's what you really should do if you're a writer. Get your 15,000 words on 12 books. No. So put my backside in a chair and just keep going.
Right.
So I do a different chapter, or I would rework the beginning. I would just stick with the one piece. And my dad passed away, and before he passed away, I promised him I'd finish my book in 3 months. But he didn't know he's passing away at that stage. He was like, yeah, you promised me you'd do it. And then they didn't. And I had this terrible guilt. And then I just was like, no, I'll have it published and out for his birthday. And I did. the
Oh,
following year. So
Oh,
it kind of
that's
gave me
so
the
wonderful.
extra push, but like still wasn't 3 months.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
okay. It's
you just
okay, I'm
have to
sure.
stick with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a
And
good
you
point. Becca
no,
Syme always says the only one who can take you off the table is yourself. So
Absolutely.
if you've got writer's block, if your marketing's not going well, it doesn't matter. All that stuff, of course it matters. All that stuff, you can get past it and you can be successful. But if you give up on your manuscript, if you give up on your career, that's the only time that it's not going to work.
You're
yes.
guaranteeing you're not going to be successful if you give up. That's
Yes.
the part of it. And like I would meet people at conferences as well, and they say, "Oh, how's the book coming on?" I go, "I'm nearly finished it." I'll be mortified. It's
I'm
like,
at
I can't
15,000
believe you
words.
remembered. Yeah, yeah. On my seventh book this year. But
I always felt sorry for James Blatch because he's such a slow writer. Those are his own words, not mine. And everyone's always like, "How's the new book, James?" And he's like, "Oh." So busy with
it's
everything
terrible,
else.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at one point I said maybe I should do a new genre, which is that you write a certain amount and then you let the public finish the book. And it's like write your own ending.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been done yet, but it's like that's how bad I was. But
Oh,
no, and
shame.
but I think something changes then when you publish. I think something
Yes.
in your brain when you finally
Yeah.
finish a book, you
Yeah.
hit
It
publish.
unlocks something in your brain,
Yeah.
definitely. Once you've
Yeah.
100%,
done
yeah.
one, it just gets easier and easier and easier to
Yeah.
finish.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I know I pressured myself for the second one, but it needed to be done. So, it just was good.
So have
And the
you done
conference,
two?
I've two, and I've a third one coming out this month. And
Oh, okay, that's exciting.
yeah, fourth one on pre-order.
What's the
Okay.
series called, Siobhan?
The Key Road Mysteries. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Irish Cozies, yeah. Murderous
Awesome.
Affairs, book one.
And you've just had a
So,
successful book club, haven't you?
I had a really, I think the luck of the Irish, I'm going to say now, is what it was. I applied for BookBub because everyone says you don't get it. You apply and they say, no, we're sorry.
Yeah.
Then you apply and they say, no, you're sorry. So I applied thinking, well, if I have to apply 5 times by next year, I get the BookBub. So I applied, I got it the following day. I was like,
It's
oh,
crazy.
wow.
what? It was just seemingly very unheard of. So then I had to scramble. I had 2 weeks to scramble. And I'm very lucky. My daughter Jade, who does the conference with me, she researched everything and she found that you had to stack it a little bit. So you had to warm the algorithm. You had to make sure that there was,
Yes.
I suppose, that those sales were starting to trickle through because my books were just an odd sale here and there.
Yeah.
And she did that for the Thursday and the Friday. I was actually in Galeen at a writing retreat with Craig when it came out.
Oh, yes.
And on the Saturday, it was so exciting. It was just, you start to see the sales. I made my money back, but I also got 1,200 new readers who all bought
Brilliant.
book one. But the tail
Brilliant.
is going. So I'm making money every day. There's sales every day. There's page reads every day. So
Oh,
that's
wonderful.
the last 20 days. It's like the 20th of September. I had the BookBub and it's still going strong. So
Oh,
it's great. Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
The
Really
BookBub doesn't
interesting.
have a comparable. Like there are little sites that can add to it, but BookBub has just always been such a force to be reckoned with. Hey,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
That's
But
fantastic.
I do think if somebody is trying it, to make sure research really well, because you
Yes.
could just do your BookBub and see a few sales that day and that's it. But to actually make it really worthwhile, you have to stack, you have to do a
Yeah.
few
Progress
newsletter
stacking.
swaps and do a few different
Before
hello
the
books.
BookBub goes, is that what you're saying?
And a
Before?
few days afterwards, yeah. So
Okay.
we did
Okay.
5 days, I think. So it really just bulked it out a little bit. And it wasn't
Absolutely.
for life-changing money or anything, but made my money back, but got the new readers and a few newsletter
Yes.
sign-ups and stuff. So yeah, it's really good.
I'll always promo stack with the BookBub, and I do like a little one on the first day, and then like 2 little ones on the second day, and then just build up to the BookBub. I don't usually do one after the BookBub, which is a very good idea because you can just support that rank then.
Yes.
So it's a very good
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
And I got
I
to number one in my categories. And that's
yeah,
the
but did you
exciting part.
screenshot? Did you
I
screenshot that orange bear
screenshotted
from
hourly.
every angle?
It was like, oh, yes.
Brilliant.
I love that you write cozy mystery, and every time JT has spoken about Islands Publishing Show, the word cozy comes up. It's like your theme,
Yes.
it's like your anthem. Everything about you is clearly very, very cozy.
Well, I think I'm an Irish mammy as well. So
Okay.
that means that when we're really good to host. So when I thought about bringing people together, had a cozy venue, but I also was like, well, I have to feed the people. Can't come and not be fed. I managed to, I suppose, create a little, I didn't know I was doing it at the time. And I've since been to shows where people are like, come and tell them how great Ireland was. And
Oh,
He can't say it was absolutely amazing, but I can say that James Blatch called it the Nink of Europe, which was a really
Oh,
Nink
that's
is that
oh,
good.
conference in Florida. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing. That's high praise, sure.
yeah, it was just phenomenal. Like, like James could do the Irish tourism, he could do their marketing because he said such nice things about Ireland. It was really good. It was a smaller show last year because people weren't sure. And I brought together just around 100 people, and it was everyone got to speak to the speakers. They sat and had dinner with the speakers. They sat in the pub and had a chat over a drink, and I managed to make a 2-day conference into actually 4 days without realizing it. If you come to Ireland's Publish Show, you come a day early, we have an informal get together in my local pub, which is a few miles from the venue. Then we had a networking evening, and then we had the conference for 2 days. So by the
Oh,
time the conference
wow.
started, everyone knew each other.
Yeah. Nice
We
and
all had
Yes.
spoken.
yeah.
Yeah. And then because like we had dinners together and lunches together, and there was like snacks in the morning, everyone just stayed together. Like some of the shows you'd meet and then you're off for dinner somewhere else. So this was just, I think this is what worked for me.
Okay.
And the hotel is maybe it's about a kilometre from their village and about 5-6 kilometres from Ennis, which is the big town. So there was nowhere to go. So
It's like Stockholm syndrome
yes.
with Guinness.
Yes, with Guinness. Yes. And baby Guinnesses. I don't know if anyone had a baby
No
Guinness.
way.
So baby Guinness is like a Kahlua and Bailey's, and it looks like a little mini Guinness. It's a little shot. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, they
That
are the
sounds good.
business.
I could do that.
Yeah.
Just what it
So
was.
basically, you got all these really high-powered, kick-ass authors to your hometown to give you private coaching for 2 days, and then under the
Yes.
well played, Siobhan. Well played.
It was really a conference for me. Just like,
We like that strategy a lot.
Yeah, I might
yeah.
have to copy paste that. I'm going to open South Africa's publishing show.
There you go. I come and help you.
Yeah,
Yes.
Siobhan can help because now,
Yeah.
because you've rebranded Siobhan, it's not just the Irish show.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
else are you doing now?
So we rebranded to Indie Network Events, Network really. And it's because Indie Network is in, so we could do Indie Network Ireland, so in Ireland. So we also have some writing retreats. The one in my village this year is right by the quay, but I have some plans for, like we're very close to the coast here, so maybe right by the sea.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, in Ireland, so
Yeah.
Indie Network Ireland. And then obviously we could go to Scotland, we could go to Wales, we could go to France if we wanted to, and either have the writing retreats or the events where, and I suppose the conference for me is professional development. Just, like we have a lot of fun and it is very personable, but that's what this is. There's lots of literary festivals around the world, and in Ireland, oh my goodness, we love a literary festival. You can't walk into a village, you would trip over a literary festival, and that's like genuine. They're fabulous, but they're more, somebody telling you why they wrote their book and reading passages from their book, and that's lovely, and it's great, and for readers to meet writers who are doing that. It's gorgeous. But and again, or someone who wants a trad deal, there's a lot of traditionally published authors who will go and read or speak at those kind of conferences or festivals, and so I wanted something that was more like what I'd been to, that will give you practical advice, give you connections, give you inspiration. To see somebody stand up and said, wow, I started 5 years ago, and it took me 10 years to write my first book. I feel like this will be my story in the future. Now I'm a millionaire. No. Speak it into existence. But yeah, so you actually think, well, if they can do it, and Steve Higgs is a really good one for like, if I can do this, anybody can do it, and you can do it too. And you hear somebody telling you that, you kind of go, oh, maybe I could,
Okay. Yeah. Like you say, when I asked you that question earlier about the best advice you got to break through that block, you probably find it was just being exposed to people that had such a positive attitude and that had done it successfully so many times that it just rubbed off without you even realizing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there was a story where I was in Vegas 2 years ago, and I got there early, walked through the lobby the day before, and I was like, oh, I'm back in Vegas, going to see my people, and I'm really happy. And I see somebody in the corner, and they're like, hey, Siobhan. I was like, oh, hi, how's the book going? I was like, oh God, it's not done yet. I was like, oh my God. And these are two particularly quite high-powered people, and I was mortified, and I walked away, and I was like, oh God, I'll never finish this book. But afterwards I met one of them, and we had a conversation, and I was like, I can't believe you're still having the book. And they said, no, mine took 5 years. I said, fair enough.
Okay.
And they said, after you left, we were like, oh, she could be writing the next Dan Brown. And I was like, oh my God, if they think I could be writing the next Dan Brown, maybe I could be writing the next
Yeah.
Dan Brown, you know? It's
Exactly.
those moments, that's what changes people's careers and
Yes.
their lives, you know, just little
True.
seed.
Yes. Oh, I need to get to the conferences, man.
You do.
Yeah,
You
you do.
do.
There's
We
a
can
really
plan
good
a
one
whole
in
circuit.
Ireland.
Yes, yes.
When Siobhan talks about the indie networking thing, I'm like, I'm in, like, just take my money. It sounds amazing. I
Yeah.
want all the retreats, all the conferences. I want to travel Europe. Like, I'll just give you my credit card details.
Yes. Well, that is, isn't it? It's like, I think when you go to the American ones, they all say, oh, it's a tax write-off, which is in the back of my head as well. So if you're traveling for professional development or
Yes.
a writing retreat, or
Yeah.
maybe I'll write a book in Ireland or Scotland or, you know,
Yeah.
somewhere, and you get to go to a conference there, you could do a tax write-off, I think. I was like, the taxman in
Yeah.
Ireland be like, where's Siobhan? Like, I'm not making that much money yet.
No, that's one of the best hacks of being an author. You get to travel basically, and your business pays for it. It's like, it's amazing. I love
Yes.
it.
It's a no-brainer.
Delport says I'm in my conference era.
Yeah, she's in her
Yeah.
conference era. I want to be in my conference era. I'm desperate to be in my conference era. But I mean,
It's just a
you
matter of
committed,
time.
Siobhan, you did so many conferences before you'd even released your book. So I mean, you were in like negative. I know you had great, but you were like,
Yes.
your text must have looked great. You were just writing everything off and you hadn't generated a penny.
I hadn't generated a penny, but in that case, that's just debt. Just to be clear, there's
But you
there's
no,
no
you were
tax
banking.
write-off.
So I think deep down you must have known it was coming. It was coming.
You must
I
have.
was hoping. It
Yeah.
hasn't fully come, but it's on the way, I think. Yeah, no, definitely. But I had, I suppose, the first couple of years going to Vegas as well, I had a lot of support from Craig. And then last year, I had said, oh, definitely not going. And then I organized a conference so I could go to Vegas to sell it. And, you know, it's like, I have to go and tell people about it. I couldn't have a conference and not tell people in Las Vegas that it's on. So it was kind of like that. That's how I swung last year's one.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
divine. Oh no,
There's
yeah,
no,
I definitely need to get onto these conference areas. I've got to do it. I'm
yeah.
just gonna have to take the plunge. So now that you've released your third book is coming out this month,
Yes, third book's 28th this month.
what is your publishing strategy? So have you pushed right through that block? Do you now know that you are capable and able of starting and finishing books? And what is your release strategy? Like how many a year are you planning on releasing?
So I suppose this year I have another one coming out in December, so I have a Christmas book,
Okay.
and then I have plans for February for a wedding book, but probably go for on Valentine's Day for it. And I think
Okay.
next year I hope to do between 4 and 6. I
Okay, so you've
haven't.
leveled up properly.
Yeah, I definitely can do 4. If I
Okay.
pushed myself, I could do another 2.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
more like, for example, I went to the writing retreat I mentioned in Galena with Craig Martell, and he sat the first day and he said, well, last year at this, I did 15,000 words in 3 days. And I'm like, 15,000 words? Jeez, I couldn't write 15,000 words in a whole week, not to mind 3 days. And the sprints, it was really interesting because he literally would talk for a few minutes, and then on occasion he'd say, think for 1 minute about what you'd like to write. And then it's just like, set a timer, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And we did that for 3 days. And I came home with 18,500 words.
Wow.
I'm a pantser. I didn't even have a plan for this. Like, so it wasn't that I was like all prepared. I was so unprepared. I'd hoped to do 5,000. So
Yes.
it taught me, that sit down,
What you can
open your
do.
computer and
Mm.
write, and stop like faffing around. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I need to have the right music or the right time, and I need to feel good. And then no, so there was
No.
this is a really warm place, so there was a couple of flies in the room, and we were like swatting flies away like off your hand and continuing to write. And there's people all writing and typing. There was no ideal scenario, there was no music. It
Yes.
was just like, right,
Right.
I'm gonna write.
Yes, just come
Right.
down to
Yeah.
the words.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. I think sometimes you just have to prove to yourself what you can do, and then there's no excuses animoore. You can't come home and
No
say,
excuses.
oh,
Yeah.
but I can only write this many words a day. And because you've proved that you can do more than that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think a trick for somebody who's very stuck or very, procrastinating, is to do a 5-minute sprint and see how many words you can do and multiply that. So say, well, I'll do 5 minutes. If I do that 12 times where I have my hour, this is roughly what I can write in an hour. And that you might surprise yourself. So I would have thought, oh, I could do about 500 words an hour. No, I can do way more,
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think you're
you've
right. I
done
think
that,
yes.
JT.
What have I
You've
done?
tested your words per. You've done that
Words per
before.
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm quite a slow writer. I'm not proud of it. I'm a slow, careful writer, and then I don't have to edit a lot. Like I write very
See,
clean first draft.
yeah.
And then there's hardly any editing, which I love. But at the same time, it takes a long time to actually get those words down.
But you
And
have like a
yet,
gazillion books now, though, don't you?
Uh,
yes.
You're not that
So she's
slow.
underselling herself. When you say slow, it's not like you can still put out a book every 2 to 3 months if you like are under the whip.
yeah, I just find that most successful indie authors can write close to 1,000 words in half an hour.
Yes.
I write 700 words in an hour. So I am
Okay.
slower compared to like the average successful author who puts out
Yes.
books. So for me, it's like hours and hours in front of the screen every day to get those words done. Whereas someone else could just sit down and write 5,000 words, no problem.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So your input is
But
more. You have to work a bit harder than the rest.
Yeah.
no,
You
but
can say
no,
it.
because I don't think you're even working harder, because the 18,500 words that I wrote,
Yeah.
oh my God, like we just wrote with no worrying about like anything. It was,
Yes.
I didn't, like, I would probably take me 3 months to edit those words. So I think the 700 words, clean words in an hour, is it more beneficial than 2,000
Yes.
messy that
Slangy
have to be
words.
edited?
Thank you,
Yeah.
Siobhan. I feel better now.
Oh, I wish I could write like you.
I love the idea of just spending 5 minutes on your manuscript, because when I was studying, I studied a little bit of psychology in my early 20s. And what I learned was your brain doesn't like to do hard things. Like we all know that. Like I'd much rather doom scroll and even clean the house rather than write, because writing is hard. It takes brain power, and your body doesn't like using brain power. It wants an easy life. Just opening a manuscript is often the hardest part. It's like putting your shoes on to go to the gym, right? So if you could just open the manuscript and just spend 5 minutes reading something, thinking about something, just 5 minutes of warm up, it's so much easier to start writing then, rather than doing something else and thinking I should be writing.
Yes.
Open the manuscript, get in there, put your shoes on, put your gym shoes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put on your
find that
active
helps a
wear.
lot. Yes. Well, I always wear activewear. That doesn't help. Still couch potato. Siobhan, who are your favorite speakers this year and last show? And who are the speakers you're looking forward to most next year?
This is like asking me to choose a favorite child.
Oh yeah, that's
This is
a tough
terrible.
I have favorite children.
Let's hope,
What's the
let's hope the
problem?
ones that don't make the favorite list don't watch them.
Okay, then maybe just tell us about your highlights.
Okay, so well, I have to say Tony Lee was our keynote, and
Yeah.
he was amazing, lads. He told us his story from, when he started as a street performer. He was funny and engaging, but it was so inspiring. It was I know he did a lot of writing for, comics and TV and stuff, but his story to become an actual author was just so inspiring. His life story is so inspiring, and he's amazing. And he was very generous with, everyone with his time. All the speakers were incredible. And even there was a few, Irish speakers who maybe hadn't done a lot of speaking, and it just was like, oh, would you like to? We just had a good experience. Say one lady, Lorna, had Burns on Press, and she did like a Kickstarter type thing 13 years ago for her farm books. So she was like, she's been doing this for a long time, but she was kind of ahead of herself. And she stood up and spoke, and she was amazing. And she's not somebody who would maybe do a lot of public speaking. She's an Irish farmer, lads. She's she's incredible. She just wrote like a Bridget Jones style farming book. A lady comes back from England, but like to take it wasn't even taking a chance, because I knew her personality. I knew she would be good. But like people like that were even better than I thought. So I think the highlights were just how it all came together. I remember the few days before it started, I was like, oh my God, I'm a little bit disappointed I don't have more people, and Irish people didn't buy into it. But oh my God, herding 100 people around these 2 rooms was difficult enough,
Yes,
I think if they'd been full, it would have been a bit too much for the first year. The highlights, I'm just trying to think. I think it was just people who hadn't been before who got so much from it. And then buzz afterward, everyone just was, they were like, you've created something special. And I was very proud. For this next year, I suppose we have Sadie Kincaid as our keynote speaker.
That's amazing.
And Sadie is, she's a gorgeous human being. Like, I don't know if you've met her.
No, I haven't.
Again, met her in Vegas. Herself and her husband sat and chatted to them for a couple of hours. She was so generous with her time. Yes. Took a selfie. That's really important. But, and they included me. Do you want to come and do karaoke? It wasn't oh, you're not published. People, they're just so lovely. So when I asked her to come and speak and asked her to be keynote, she was like, yes. And she's amazing. Yeah, I have a good lineup again this year. And
you said 100. Did you have 100? You had 100 in March.
I had 100 in March, but we were almost sold out.
So yes, how many are you having for next year?
So our capacity is around 200.
Okay, And are you
And
having
we're
it at the same venue?
same venue, so it's on at the Inn
Wow.
at Dromoland in Clare. It's 10 minutes drive from Shannon Airport, so it's
Okay.
really accessible, and it's on the grounds of Dromoland Castle. So if you go out the back of the hotel, you go through this gate, you're down by the lake, and you can see Dromoland Castle. And James Blatch had a fabulous picture that was like mist on the water. He was out for an
Wow.
early run, and there's deer down there. It's really, it's kind of, you can go for a walk before the conference or in the evening and get back into nature as well, which is really nice.
That is nice.
wow.
Yeah.
How many
Okay.
tickets are left, Siobhan?
There's about 10.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, it's going to
So
be sold out by the time this episode airs.
Yeah.
maybe not, but we'll do a little bit of a wait list. We have a tiny little buffer that
Okay.
we could go a tiny bit over the
That
10.
makes sense. Yeah.
Or people change plans as well. So we have a
Okay.
small little buffer, but it's not another 10 even,
Yes.
It's
Okay.
but yeah, they're
They
tipping
might be
away.
able to
The more-
squeeze you in, JT.
Yes.
Squeeze you in.
I've already,
You're just
excuse me,
you're a little
I've already
person.
booked my tickets.
She's already coming.
Oh man.
Yeah.
What about me? What about me?
Shame.
With any luck.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the bigger crowd. I'm looking forward to the extra, I suppose, speakers. We've more sponsors that are coming. So last year we had Book Vault and Readsy and Stuart Grant. So this year we just feel like, we've extended that. I'm trying to think of everyone we have. Jade, my daughter, runs the conference with me. And
I can tell you which one you have. Well, one of them. I know you
Yes,
have a
it's
lot.
on your.
Yeah.
I also
Yes.
jumped on the website earlier and saw.
But one of your sponsors is also one of our sponsors.
Yes,
Oh.
Scribe Shadow.
Oh, guys. They're amazing, aren't they?
They are amazing.
Are amazing. Yeah. So they're coming, and we've Reedy back. We have Stuart Grant as our main sponsor. See, this is why I was afraid to start naming them, because I was like, I'll list
You don't
out
want to leave
somebody.
anyone out. It's okay.
I'm on it. So the URL is indienetworkevents.com. But if you just Google Ireland's Publishing Show, it comes up in the top results.
Yeah.
And then the sponsors are Readsy, Craig Martell, Book Vault, Scribe Shadow, AutoCrit, Pro Writing Aid, Liquid Mind Publishing, Writer's Tears, Indie Author Magazine, Jack Gatland, who is Tony Lee,
Yes.
Publisher Champ, and LJ Dix. There we go.
So a couple of those were people who sponsored like attendees to come and with accommodation, which is
that's so
that's
special.
the bit. Oh, I just love that part of it.
I love that. I love
It's
that.
again helping hand, and some of
Yeah.
them were like they had to be a new author or fairly early in the career, so it's really helping. Really, like it's so supportive. And Writer's Tears is actually Irish whiskey, just so you know.
That's
I
awesome.
thought that sounded familiar, and I think I've read it in a book before.
Yes. Now there's an actual brand.
I love that. I'm gonna have to get a bottle.
Yes. If you come to the show, there may be a little bottle there.
Oh, nice. I
We have
think
it
this
all.
would be a good
March
time
next
to
year. Hey, March
Yeah.
next year.
put it in your
Yes.
calendar, Delport. You can
Listen,
go
I
with me
gotta have some goals. I gotta have
You
some
can be
goals.
my bank buddy.
Yes.
Stand outside.
This is a good time to stop just for a quick word from our sponsor, Delport. What do you think? Because
We've just
while we
mentioned
talk
them.
Guys, we're just going to take a quick break to talk about Scribe Shadow. Scribe Shadow is the perfect partner for indie authors who don't want to leave money on the table. They use cutting-edge AI to make novel translation fast, affordable, and super easy. In just minutes, your book can be translated into over 19 languages with high-quality results ready to reach readers everywhere.
The best thing about Scribe Shadow is that it isn't some faceless giant. It is a small family-run team, husband and wife, who we've had on the pod before. They have indie roots. They've been in the trenches. They know the author hustle. The best part is the app is a practical, budget-friendly, and super easy to use interface that even authors who are not tech-savvy like myself can use. You keep your full rights to your work, and your books are never, ever used to train AI.
On a more personal note, Delport, we love Scribe Shadow, don't we? We spoke about it in our very first episode when I used to call it Shadow Scribe. And have since translated our books into lots of different languages. We now have readers in Italy and France and Germany, and it's just been incredible for both of us.
Yes, it's no secret, I think, to anyone who watches the pod that translations changed the landscape of my entire career, and I would not have been able to do it without them. So I am, yes, Scribe Shadow all the way for me.
Yes, me too. Guys, Scribe Shadow has been so kind, and they gave us a discount code for our listeners. You get 30% off your credit purchase?
The coupon code is Pen and Prosper 30. That is PENAND, Prosper. And you use it on checkout to take your 30% discount. And there's no obligation, but it does help us. It doesn't cost you anything. It actually gives you money off and it supports the pod. So we would be so grateful if you were thinking of signing up for Scribe Shadow, which we obviously recommend, that you might use our coupon code.
Speaking about Scribe Shadow, Siobhan, have you done translations?
Yes, actually, I've just started doing the translations. My older daughter was home from Canada and I was like, oh, you're going to have to help me with this. You know, there's this new thing, Scribe Shadow, and I'm going to buy the credits, but like I need help. And she was like, oh, do you? So we had literally a half hour and she said, oh, there's little tutorials. So I opened the first one. I was like, oh yeah, I get that. And then I opened the second one. I was like, oh, I get that. And then she looked at me and she went, it wasn't that hard, was it?
It is the easiest thing in the world.
Simple. Like I'm 53. Like I was thinking this is going to be way above anything I can do. And, you know, I think my children have convinced me I'm not very technology efficient or something. I am. But they were like, oh no. But it was really simple. So I did my first book in 6 languages and then I did the second book in 5, right? So, and I did that in an hour that evening. Like it was really mind blowing. But I sat down with Jade just 2 days ago actually. And because I do my own covers, so she's just put a little banner on the top, which is like, say the Italian one is the Italian flag to the side and a little banner, and I've left the rest of the cover. And we were just figuring out the whole part of, I suppose there's a system, because obviously I have 2 books on pre-order and I have 2 out. So she had to change the back matter. So this is the only bit that was to make sure that the link for the Italian one was there. So she put up book 2 first and then put up the link she has a link for book 2 to put into book 1. So that's going live, I think, today. So that was the only part that it would just need a little bit more thought. So, yes. But the actual translations were like so simple. And that's.
Are you in their group? Are you in their Facebook group?
Yes.
Obviously.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're so helpful.
It's amazing.
And people, again, authors are so helpful. I saw a post the other day about the German translations, Chat versus Gemini. And like people and this was from a native, or she speaks German fluently. And I was just like, this woman took time out of her day to jump onto the Scribe Shadow group and report back in her experience to help other people for no other reason than to help other people.
Just to help them. Yeah.
It's a really beautiful group. Like there's no negativity. Everyone's just there to help. And I think it's such a lovely system.
Yeah. Oh, and it's just easy. Like it's not, as I said, it's just thinking afterwards to make sure you have your back matter done for the new links. That's and I mean that wasn't complicated. We just had to think about to make sure they were in the right order. You know, but like by the end of the week, I'll have my books in 6 languages. Sure. I'll have pre-orders up for book 2, book 3, book 4. They'll all come maybe a week after what's due. And my one book has now become 7, 8, 9, depending on how many languages I do. Like it's mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing. I mean, especially if you have, like some authors have 100 books in their catalogue. Can you imagine? Translating into like 16 languages. It's a lot. It's a lot to manage, but it's also a lot of money coming out.
Which, out of interest, Siobhan, in your genre, which of those languages have you found is doing best?
They're only gone up this week.
Oh, they're only going up
they're
this
translated.
week? We'll have to have you back.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, hopefully. And I'm hoping, because the other books have, started to generate kind of daily money and daily page reads. My book club, I got 52,000 page reads, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is like the most page reads I've ever had.
Amazing.
But like in 8 days this month, I've had 26,000. So I know you're the page read queen.
We don't talk about JT's page reads when we talk about our own. We don't put them in the same wheelhouse. Okay, it's the crazy woman on our left. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's on our right on the video.
But we can get there as well.
Yeah, of course we can.
That's what you have to believe.
Of course we can. This is it. JT wants us to get there too, so it's good.
Absolutely.
What's the mantra, Delport? What's the mantra?
Success is inevitable.
Yes.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay, and I think your dad would be very proud, Siobhan, because you know what? It might have taken you longer than 3 months, but look at you now. You're putting out all these translations. It's like a book a week for you these days.
I know.
Publishing empire, publishing conference queen. Amazing. Well
Yes,
done. You've done so well.
amazing. You really
Thank
have.
you.
And it couldn't have happened to a better person, a nicer person.
Oh, thank you.
So before we finish up, what are the dates of next year's conference? And I'm laughing because we already think that this conference this year was last year. So, but at some point, the next conference is happening when?
So March 2026. It's around St. Patrick's Day again. So we
I've got the whole itinerary in front of me. I can just quickly go through it if you like. Okay. So on the 16th of March, it's 2 days before the conference starts. It's the informal meetup at Powers Pub, Clare Castle. Do you say Clare Castle? And I know
Clare Castle. Yeah, no, that's where I live.
Oh, okay. Oh, you live in a castle? That's nice.
Yes, it's called Clare.
So I'm really looking forward to that. Then on the 17th, which is the day before the conference, is the check-in, the vendor events, the drinks reception sponsored by Reedsy, and Paddy's Day networking party, which sounds fantastic.
Remember, it's Paddy's Day in Ireland, so it will be
it's going to be
Wow,
so
it'll be
much
so
much fun.
Baby Guinnesses for the win.
Yes.
I've never been to Ireland. I've always wanted to go, and I'm going to be there on Paddy's Day. It's so cool. I'm so excited. Okay, then 18th of March is the first day of the conference. It starts at 9 in the morning. It's a full day conference, morning snack and lunch included, and a 3-course networking gala dinner in the evening. And as Siobhan said earlier, like you together for all this stuff. There's no people going to like this restaurant and this just doesn't work like that. Everyone's together all the time and it's wonderful. So then the 19th is the second and last day of the conference. It starts at 9 a.m., same as the day before. It's a full day conference, morning snack and lunch included, and that is the end of the show. Unless you're there to stay for the retreat, which also sounds amazing. Yay!
Sounds amazing. Do you have any rickshaws there in Ireland? Because JT is partial to a rickshaw.
I am partial to a rickshaw after drinking until 3 a.m. or whatever it was.
Did you see her rickshaw video after her last conference, Siobhan?
I didn't see a rickshaw video. Why did I not see a rickshaw video?
She got very messily drunk with some other authors and they ended up
I don't get messily drunk, Delport. I'm very clean.
No, you were very neat drunk, but it was so funny. And they were all calling Amanda, and no, you must watch the video. JT, you got to send the video.
I'll send it.
And if anyone wants to watch the video, it's on our TikTok account.
Siobhan, it was with Adina, so you know.
Oh, I know. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so happy to have you on, Siobhan. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you so much, Siobhan. We are so appreciative.
It's been brilliant.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.